Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and for this evening's video we're going to have a look at December 2010. It was the coldest December we'd had since the 1800s, a record month that I doubt we will see anything come near to it for many years. As you can see, we're in the middle of December now and we are not going to even get close to this. We'll go through the temperatures for it. We'll also have a look at the CET, which is the second lowest ever for December, only behind 1890. And then we'll have a look at the pressure charts, the upper air temperatures, and of course the temperatures towards the surface and the snowfall as well, as we did have huge amounts of snowfall. It really was a December for all those wintry lovers out there. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow on Twitter as well, the links in the description. It is amazing how this was 11 years ago this month, and with the Decembers we've had recently, it's hard to believe that we could have a December where the average temperature is below freezing. Now here we're looking at the Met Office whole sort of UK image showing the mean temperature for the whole month, and you can see these lighter blues is between freezing and 2 degrees, and you can see some areas are in that sort of area along the east coast, maybe the south coast and the far southwest, maybe parts of Wales and a bit of Northern Ireland as well, but the majority of the United Kingdom is between the 0, -2, and some areas getting down to -4 for their average temperature. The mean temperature for the whole month, all 31 days, the average temperature for many areas was below freezing. Incredible. And if you do have a look at the anomaly, not only the 1981 to 2010, pretty much the whole of the British Isles was -3.5 below average, 3.5 anomaly. It was even below 3.5 for the 1961 to 1990 average, where we had a number of cold winters within that. So it's a truly exceptional month that, again, I doubt we'll see coming off potentially for decades or even centuries, given the warming climate we have and just how it all came together. Now, if we also do have a look at the number of air frosts, for example, you can see some areas seeing air frosts for 25 plus days, i.e. temperatures overnight well below freezing. And again, looking at the anomalies, 10 to 15 more than we normally get, and we normally get probably around 5 or 10. So you can see how it is truly exceptional, the amount of air frosts we got, and the temperatures were just, ridiculous. Now you can see that actually rainfall was really quite low, only 25 to 50 millimeters of rainfall. Look at the anomalies, brown pretty much for everywhere. You can see along the east coast though, some areas more towards average. But the thing about that was all the rainfall or all the precipitation that fell out of the sky was pretty much snow for the whole month. So even though areas, if we have a look at the actual chart, only getting 50, 75 millimeters, or even some as low as 25 millimeters, that was falling as snow and was sticking around. And the rough conversion rate for snow is a millimeter to a centimeter. So areas seeing 75 millimeters of rain through the month were potentially seeing 75 centimeters of snow. Now, of course, that's over the 31 days, not all at once, but just shows you the amount of snowfall we did see. Truly exceptional. Now, if we do have a look at the CET, which shows the average temperature for the whole month in central England, it's basically a way to compare years and compare months. You can see here, 2010 December, -0.7. Just look around it. You're seeing most of the December CETs hardly get below 2 or 3 degrees. A few of the Decembers down in 1995, 96, getting in 2 degrees. Majority around 2010, 2008, 2009, 3.5, 3.1, and since we haven't really had anything much colder than 4 degrees, with a couple years coming in at 4.8. So far December this year has been around 5, maybe a touch above that. Again, it changes daily, and you can see on here it isn't in because the full month hasn't been completed. It's truly exceptional. even to get something as low as that in December, and we don't normally see anything below freezing normally for the CET. The closest we've had to that, really, if we have to go back to, where was it, 1986, we had a minus 1.1 in February, minus 0.4 in 1979 in January, 1963, bitterly cold throughout January and February. So you can see these months are very, very rare, but when they do occur, they're normally in January, February, where the upper air conditions to our north are that bit much colder. But you can see December, never really see anything like this. A few 1 degrees throughout the 1900s, and of course the closest was 1890 and minus 0.8, 1874 minus 0.2, and you can just see how it's such a rare event, and being in a warming climate just is truly exceptional how cold December 2010. And as I said, I doubt we'll see something like this again for many years, if not decades, or even centuries. I know that is a long time, but it just shows you how truly exceptional. Good 4 or 5 degrees below what we've been seeing recently in 2010. Now, if we do go through the pressure charts, now the very cold December, the actual spell of cold weather actually started in the end of November. So the end of November was actually really quite cold as well. Now, if we start on the 13th of November, you can see a typical westerly pattern. No signs of anything massively building to our north in terms of northern blocking. However, towards Thursday, the 18th of November, we do build a bit of high pressure to our north. Now, it's nothing too crazy. A bit of a slack easterly wind. And then we see Greenland high going. And we are starting to pull in bitterly cold air from our northeast as we are holding on to that block. Now, throughout the end of the month, we're going bitterly cold with a flat easterly wind, air coming from Scandinavia and Siberia. Bitterly cold to end November and start December. We just get a continual flow of air in from the north and the northeast, just continues throughout the whole of the last week of November and the first week of December. We do see a brief respite towards the middle few days of December with that high pressure flattening, and you'd think going into a westerly pattern by Friday the 10th of December. However, that high pressure holds around, turns things cold and frosty before it heads up back towards Greenland, and we see one of the most exceptional pressure charts we will ever see, with the tropospheric polar vortex truly dropping through the UK. Now remember, this is December. The upper air temperatures over the North Pole haven't peaked yet, so this isn't as cold as it could have got. If we saw these pressure charts in the middle of January into February, it would have been truly Arctic. You would have been seeing many centimetres, inches of snow, temperatures down into the minus double digits, widely, truly exceptional. And you can see the tropospheric polar vortex just sits over the UK, spiralling around within that cold air, giving us bitterly cold conditions. And you can see by Christmas Day, although we have a area of high pressure building over the top of the UK, it does cut out any snow risk, but it is bitterly cold towards the surface, temperatures below freezing, a truly beautiful sort of Christmas card-like Christmas Day, where we're seeing widespread snow on the ground, clear blue skies, truly freezing as well. And beyond that, we do eventually see things turn a little bit more westerly towards the end of the month. However, as we do start January, we do have a bit more of cold weather. Now, unfortunately, because of West Central, how it conducts the data sets, we can't quite go across years. But we do build a brief ridge of high pressure back towards Greenland, pull in northerly winds once again, and turn things colder for the first week of January, before the rest of 2010-2011 winter wasn't truly exceptionally cold. It was still pretty chilly, with the CET, if we go back, coming into around 3.7 and 6.4. So similar to what we had last year in terms of the CET, actually milder in February and slightly milder than we had last year, or earlier this year, let's just say, or last winter. Slightly bit milder than we had January and February this year. Now, we did have some cold spells at times, but we had our a good, decent spell of milder conditions as well. So, yeah, truly exceptional with that. Now, the really interesting thing, we'll be having a look at the upper air conditions. And you can see throughout the middle of the month, generally things are quite mild. And then we get that high pressure going to our north, and we're starting to pull in a polar air mass. And by the 24th, 25th, cold air spreading through the whole country. -5 line through pretty much for many weeks straight. A few west bites here or there, but -5 lines pretty much over the top of the UK for a month, really. For the first few days of December, truly pulling in a proper bitty cold easterly wind with the -10 isotherm moving through. Briefly into a bit milder air, but towards the surface it is still bitterly cold, and we continue to see that cold air pushing in from the north. And then, as I said, towards the 10th, 11th, we see that flattening of the high pressure. Milder conditions push in, turns it milder for a couple of days, see a bit of snow melting, and then that high pressure builds towards the north, and you see the tropospheric polar vortex heading straight out of Greenland, and you can see bitterly cold upper air conditions. And as I said, if it was in January or February, these upper air conditions would be even colder. We'd get -15, -20 line through. Instead, just the -10, which is still pretty cold, and we just stay truly exceptionally cold for Christmas and heading into the new year. For the last few days of December, we do start to see upper air temperatures rise, and then we go a little bit colder for the first week of January before things turned a bit milder again through January. So, yeah, truly exceptional seeing that cold air just stick around over the UK. Now, since we've only really seen cold air stick around the UK for maybe 5 to 7 days, with things like the Beast from the East, where we saw bitterly cold air for 7 days, but either side of it, things were generally a bit milder, especially further southwards. Here, we just saw that cold air mill around. And the thing is, when you get that cold air just sitting over the top of the UK, even we do see brief areas of milder air pulling in, or even upper air temperatures warmer than -5 at entry of DHPA. You can still see snowfall, very cold temperatures towards the surface, because that air mass has just cooled the surface conditions down so much that we generate our own cold in the end, which is, yeah, truly exceptional. Now, if we do have a look at Meteoseal, have a look at the ECMWF reanalysis, have a look at the upper air temperatures, then we'll have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, and we'll have a look at snowfall for the UK outlook. So if we do run through, you can see through the last week of November, we've seen cold air starting to move in from the northeast, but it truly only arrives around the 24th, 25th. -5 line plunges through, getting -7, -8 degrees at entry of DHP through, which is cold enough really for widespread snowfall. -10 moving through as well at times, and we just stay in that cold air mass in from the east. -10 dominating the UK for the last few days of November and the first few days of December, before we see a brief milder sector move in. But it's not mild at all. And as you'll see, as we head into the first few days, first week of December, you see that cold air plunging in from the north with a bit of colder air once again moving in, getting that -10 line through. And then around the 9th, 10th of December, we see a brief milder sector move in. The upper air temperatures rise above freezing for a couple days, getting -7, -8, 7, 8, 9 degrees at entry of THP through, which is really quite mild. However, as you'll see, give it any second, we will see that cold air plunging back in from the north. Truly exceptional, with that bitterly cold air mass moving in with a very big contrast in air masses, providing a truly exceptional cold front where we saw temperatures drop by 5+ degrees in the matter of half an hour, with heavy snowfall moving through as well. And we just stay bitterly cold throughout the end of the month. And if we do have a look for the festive period, you can see bitterly cold at upper air conditions. And for Christmas Day, you can see upper air conditions around -7, -8 degrees at 850 HPA. Sort of a perfect Christmas if you are a lover of snow and colder conditions. But eventually, the last few days, we start to bring a bit milder conditions in, before conditions turn colder once again for the first few days of January, before January turning a little bit milder in from the west. Now, if we do have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, we'll see how truly exceptional it is, with the temperatures towards the surface staying below freezing for a whole month, really. You can see pretty mild through 20th, 21st, 22nd, but not crazy mild. Temperatures getting down to maybe freezing overnight, but around 4 or 5 degrees in a day. And then we see that cold air move in from the north, the 25th of November, a couple degrees above freezing. However, by the 26th, again, temperatures struggling to 1 or 2 degrees. But then we start to see bitterly cold conditions come in. And by the daytime of 27th of November, temperatures hardly getting above freezing. And by the 28th, truly cold conditions overnight. Double digits, negative double digits in the north, -6, -7 in the south. Just staying bitterly cold throughout the last few days of November. You can just see that air mass spreading in from the east. Just truly exceptionally cold conditions. As I said, staying below freezing for much of first few days of December. Temperatures getting down to -15 degrees at the surface, even colder than that in a few spots. And yeah, just truly exceptional conditions. And then we start to see things turn a little bit milder. Temperatures just getting above freezing, especially along the south coast. But then you can see still bitterly cold overnight, -10, -12, -13 degrees overnight, and in the day still struggling above freezing. By the 8th of December, we start to see milder conditions push in from the west. Highs of 6, 7 degrees, truly balmy considering what we had around that time. Overnight, temperatures still dropping around to 2 or 3 degrees, potentially below freezing. And then by the 12th, 13th, temperatures starting to drop once again. And you either see the 14th, 15th temperatures struggling around 2, 3, 4 degrees in the day, but overnight dropping to around freezing. And then you see the massive cold front spread in. Truly exceptional conditions moving in from the north. And you see by the 18th of December, temperatures -17 or -18 overnight across the Highlands of Scotland. Truly exceptional. And temperatures staying largely below freezing, even in the day, -4, -5 degrees for the highs. Just bitterly cold. Now, of course, as we head towards the festive period, you can see 20th of December, widely minus double digits for many parts of England, Wales, Scotland, and parts of Ireland. And as we head towards Christmas, you can see Christmas Eve, overnight temperatures, down to minus double digits widely across the Republic of Ireland, double digits once again across parts of Wales. And by midday on Christmas Day, many areas struggling below freezing. Many parts of central England, -4, -5 degrees. Parts of Northern Ireland and Wales as well, -10 degree highs. Many areas, -1, -2. A few areas touching above freezing, but most areas, it is frigid. Beyond that, still staying quite cold, but we do see gradually milder conditions push in before it turns cold once again through the start of January. So as you can see, 4-5 weeks of just complete cold conditions. I mean, there were a few breaks here or there, but it was just absolutely frigid, truly exceptional, and yeah, we're not seeing that this year, and I doubt we'll see it again for many years to come. And if we do have a look at the snow, now you can see across the end of November, a bit of snow over the Scottish Highlands, but nothing too major. However, as we head towards the 25th of November, we're starting to see snow showers packing in from the east, and heavy snow even falling to low-lying areas inland. And we're just seeing snow moving in from the east, just massive amounts of snow, especially in the south as well. Weather front starting to push in, bringing heavy snow as well. And yeah, just continued. Now, throughout the early days of December, we do potentially see a bit of rain in the south, but still more snow packing in, especially in the north. And then things turn a bit drier when the high pressure does topple. Things turn a bit milder for a period of time. And then we see the tropospheric polar vortex coming in from the north. Heavy rain turning to heavy snow. And we just see that continue with huge amounts of snow, multiple yellow and red warnings for snow. So yellow and amber warnings for snow. Just continuing all the way until the festive period. And as we head towards around the 20th of December, see heavy snow pushing into the south once again. And for Christmas Eve, some snow into the east. And on Christmas Day, snow showers across the north. But many areas, things are dry, frosty and cold. And then towards the 26th, heavy snow pushing in off the Atlantic. But things turning milder with milder upper air conditions. For, again, things turn much colder in January. A truly exceptional month, as you see there. Breaking all kinds of records. Again, I doubt we'll see this come off like this for many years, decades, centuries. You can't put a time frame really on it, if it ever does happen again, because the stars did really align for this. We had all the right sort of long-term climate drivers in our favour. The QBO was easterly. We had ENSO regions all promoting blocking patterns. We didn't have a sudden stratospheric warming, but the polar vortex was weaker. And yeah, everything just came along and just fell into place for a bitterly cold month. Again, I do think something like this will happen again at some point. It is inevitable that we will see the stars align once again, but whether it's to this depth of cold for this period of time, I don't know. And whether it will sort of span a whole month like to December 2010, again, all depends on exactly what happens near the time. But for the time being, we just got to enjoy when we do get a few days of cold weather, or maybe a week at max, and we've got to see what's going to be happening around this Christmas, whether it is going to be going colder. Of course, it does look like we're going to be having a lot of high pressure blocking around, and whether it does turn cold is still up for debate and up in the question. But yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye really what happens over this winter. But as you see, by December 2010, things really can come off truly exceptional if we do get the climate drivers all working together in unison, and the stars, of course, to align. I hope you enjoyed this video, having a look back at December 2010. I hope it hasn't got you too much into sort of the wintry mood, because I doubt we'll see anything like this for years, of course. But of course, it's really nice to have a look back on things that have happened, and have a look what caused it, what sort of patterns to look for, as of course that blocking towards Greenland was vital for the December 2010. And that's something we've got to keep an eye on over the next few weeks and months, as we are into now the depths of winter. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.